Hi everyone, this is Sugantha Priya, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science, Dr.S.Sugantha Priya College of Arts and Science. This presentation is about operating systems overview. The outline of the presentation includes introduction to OS, what is an operating system, history of operating system, the operating system zoo. What is an operating system? A modern computer consists of one or more processors, main memory, disk, printer, various input-output devices. Managing all these varied components requires a layer of software called as an operating system. An operating system is a program that acts as an intermediary or interface between a user of a computer and the computer hardware. The operating system goals are it controls, execute user application programs, make this computer system convenient to use, ease of solving user problems, use the hardware in a very efficient manner. What does an operating system do means? Operating system act as a resource allocator, that is, it manages all the resources in the computer. And also OS is a control program. It controls execution of programs to prevent errors and improper usage of the computer. History of the operating systems. These are the various history of operating systems. In early batch systems, they bring cards to the 1401 machine. They read the cards to the tape, put the tape 7094 which does computing, and put the tape 1401 which prints the output. In the early batch systems, they use different types of machines for doing input and output operations. Next is the history of first generation computers, that is from 1945 to 1955. Vacuum tubes and plug boards were used in the first generation computers. When electronic computers were first introduced in 1940s, they are created without any operating system. All programming was done in the absolute machine language. During this generation, computers were generally used to solve simple mathematical calculations, and operating systems were not necessarily needed. Second generation, from 1955 to 1965, they used transistors and batch systems in the second generation computers. Transistors led to the development of the computer systems. The first operating system was introduced in the early 1950s, which was called as General Motors for IBM machine, the 701. Operating systems in the 1950s were called single stream batch processing systems because the data was submitted in groups. These new machines were called as mainframes. They were used by the professional operators in the large computer rooms. This is an example of the second generation computers. Next is the third generation computers from 1965 to 1980. By the late 1960s, operating system designers were able to develop the system of multi-programming, in which a computer program will be able to perform multiple jobs at the same time. The introduction of multi-programming was a major part in the development of an OS because it allowed a CPU to be busy nearly 100% of the time. Growth of mini computers led to the development of more personal PDPs. This is an example for a multi-programming systems where 3 jobs are placed in the memory and the memory is partitioned into different types. Next is the fourth generation computers from 1980 to present. Personal computers belong to this type of generation. One of the major factors in the creation of personal computing was the birth of Microsoft and the Windows OS. The Windows operating system was created in 1975 when Paul Allen and Bill Gates they introduced MS-DOS in 1981. Although it was effective, Windows was the largest operating system used in the technology today. With the release of Windows 95, Windows 98, Windows XP, Windows 7, etc., Apple Macintosh is the other major operating system created in the 1980s. Today, all of our electronic devices run on the operating systems, from our computers, laptops, smartphones to ATM machines, motor vehicles, and other devices are not without the operating system. Next is the operating system zoo. The operating system zoo is categorized into different types like mainframe operating system, server operating system, multiprocessor operating system, personal computer operating systems, real-time operating systems, embedded operating systems, and smart card operating systems. Mainframe operating system performs multi-jobs, that is, multiple jobs can be performed by the CPU at the same time, and also the OS coordinates all these multi-jobs together. Batch processing. In batch processing, a group of job is processed together, and also the transaction process is done in the mainframe OS. Time sharing, example IBM's OS 340, OS 360 and OS 390. Thank you.